Hi there everyone, good evening. So today it's a quick tutorial on the concept of vertex colors in Blender, but also how to use vertex colors inside Unreal Engine to blend between two different textures on the surface of a mesh. Okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into that inside Unreal Engine a bit later. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just go quickly to Unreal Engine. Actually, I need to open up the map. I apologise. I should have had the map open, but we'll get there. Okay, that's just the test level. That was the test level of my game. So here inside Unreal Engine, we've got some materials. So this is a level that we're working on for Mythrealm, for my company's game Mythrealm. And now in this level we've got some materials that are vertex paint blending materials. And what this means is that inside the editor, when doing level design, I can go into mesh painting mode and then click on the paint tool, and I can paint vertex colors onto this mesh, right, to change the blend between the snow and the rock, right? So by default it's gonna, if I left click, it's going to paint the snow, right? So I can paint the snow on top of the rock, but then if I shift and left click, it erases the snow, right? So this is a really useful tool in level design. But first, before we get into the vertex blending inside Unreal Engine, let's actually just take a quick look at what vertex colors are in Blender and in principle with a 3D model. And I apologize, I've opened up my old version of Blender. Right, we can go back. I keep on pressing the wrong buttons. Sorry. Right, okay. So I'm back in Blender. This video isn't scripted, so I'm just yeah. Okay, so back in Blender we've got a plane. Okay, now so what people may or may not know is that vertices have the ability to store color information, or RGB information, right? So you can store a color inside a vertex, and this is called vertex colors or vertex paint, right? Now it's important to understand that you can only store as much information as you have vertices, right? So I can make this vertex blue and this vertex red, but if there's only two vertices, I can only get a blend between red and blue. I can't like have it like blue here. I'll just get a blend between them. So I'll just show you this vertex paint, right? And then if I change it to red, okay, right, it's red. And then if I change it to blue, and then we get purple, and we get kind of purple in the middle because it's blending between blue and red. But if I want the middle to be blue, the only way that I can do that is by having another vertex there. So you can only get as much color resolution as you have vertices, right? So in this case, I'm going to subdivide the plane quite a few times, and then go back into vertex paint mode. And now because I've got more vertices, right, I can add more definition to the mesh, right? And I can even, kind of, so you can actually, I mean, in theory you can use vertex paint to actually color models. Like you can use it to color environment assets. I mean, potentially even characters, although it doesn't usually work very well for characters because characters are usually too complex. But anyway, what this method really is very useful for is blending, is using the colors as a mask. Right, so basically what's going on inside Unreal Engine here is that on this mesh I've programmed the material, or I've set up the shader, right, which is this one. I've set up the shader to use a vertex color node inside Unreal Engine, and the red channel of the vertex color drives the alpha of these linear interpolates. And what it basically says is that where the vertex color is red, it will show, now let's see which ones we've got here. Right, where the vertex color is red, it will show the first texture, and where the vertex color is not red, it will show, sorry, where the vertex color is red, it will show the second texture, and where the vertex color is not red, it will show the first texture. Right, so basically it's fairly simple actually. You've got two. Now we've got some color nodes here to change colors, but that's changing the color of the texture, not the vertex color, right? So it's this vertex color node here that is driving the blending between the two textures. Okay, all right. So basically that's really the principle of it. And then so once again, if inside Unreal Engine we go into Mesh Paint mode, and then Paint. And then I can paint on the mesh to change which texture which texture I see. You know, this is very, very useful for all sorts of things. So we're also doing it here with the water, where we want to paint foam on the water to kind of create certain environment effects, right? And then we can go over and have a look over here. All right, so we've got some water here. I just need to click on it. There we go. And now I can, nope, I think I've got the wrong mesh. I have to make sure I've actually selected this one. Okay, that's, oh, is it working? It's working. There we go. So now I can paint foam onto the surface of this. Right. So also these rocks over here, if I click on them, I can erase the snow. Right. It's not very high resolution. I need to improve the resolution of that. Improve the tiling of that surface. But as you can see, I can now erase the snow or add the snow back onto the surface. Now the art style of this game is kind of low poly, like stylized. So, but this technique can absolutely be used for like high resolution or realistic projects inside Unreal Engine. So yeah, there you go. So that's a vertex color blending material inside Unreal Engine. You can just see that once again, I'm using a vertex color node to drive the alpha of these lerps to blend between these two textures. Right, cool. And yeah, and if we go back into Blender, we can see that we have a plane that's subdivided, and we can paint vertex colors onto the surface of the plane. And this is useful for so many different things in game development and 3D art. Okay, cool. All right, thank you very much for watching the tutorial. I hope you found it informative. Yeah, enjoy working with vertex colors and vertex blended materials. All right, have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.